Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the LA Fitness Main Project Kickoff meeting. And I'm so excited about this project. I don't know about the rest of you, but just looking at the details, I cannot wait to see what it has in store for us. So before I jump into the details, I want to give each and every one of you a chance to just introduce yourselves, tell us which company you come from, what you're representing, and let us know your role in the project. We just want to make sure that everyone knows each other and we all know who we're working with. So I'll give you about 5 minutes to do that. All right, I sent each and every one of you a copy of the agenda. This morning we will be going over the project. We will talk about some of the processes involved. I will also discuss the organization so that you can know who is who's responsible for what, the project timeline as well. This will show us when our deadline is. We will discuss the roles and responsibilities of the key stakeholders. We'll talk about the next steps moving forward from this meeting date. And if you have any questions in the course of the presentation or even after the presentation, you can go ahead and ask me at the end of the session. You can also feel free to email me before the start of our project, and I will be glad to respond to any of your questions as well. So we are expanding, and I am so excited. We are currently opening 2 greenfield projects. One is in Maine and one is in Montana. And just for those of you that are not familiar with what greenfield projects are, it just means that we are building from the ground up in new areas of investment. And so this gives us full ownership. We're not going to be leasing these properties at all. We actually acquire the land, so we're fully going to own these 2 locations. Now, we are the team responsible for LA Fitness Maine, and so that is going to be our focus for this project. There is already another team that's been assigned to Montana, and we will be comparing notes once in a while. However, we are responsible for just Maine. We are currently operating 325 locations, and 2 of those are in Canada, Toronto. Those are the only 2 locations that we have outside of the United States. We're the leading provider of healthcare and fitness services in the United States, and by 2019, we were generating a yearly revenue of approximately $2.1 billion. Now, the onset of COVID and lockdown measures really saw a drop in these numbers. We were down by 200 million in 2020 and 50 million in 2021. So recovery from this financial loss is really essential to the future success of LA Fitness. We had a great bunch of researchers and top management from the company, and they were able to sit down and run through the financials of the company just to sort of discuss our future plan, revisit our strategic goal, and with the 325 locations that we're currently operating, we do have quite a lot of financial responsibility, and so we really we're looking for ways in which we can increase our revenue and continue to bankroll all the already existing financial responsibility after the effects of COVID. And so, some of those include leases that we're paying, taxes, payroll. We are doing other service fees. We are renting equipment. And so there is quite a lot that we're responsible for at the moment. So these 2 projects are projected to generate approximately $250 million a year in revenue for each of the locations. And we are so excited about that because this will definitely boost our revenue and give us profit in the next few years as well. The project cost for the main LA Fitness Maine is $500 million. And the payback period is about 4 years, which is quite a great amount of time. It's not too short, it's not too long. Now, the benefits of doing this Greenfield project, or rather building our own fitness center, means that we have autonomy in design. And we've had a great team of designers and architects and engineers that have come up with a design that will really help us save on some of those service costs. It is a design that's beneficial and for the residents of Augusta, Maine, as well as the surrounding businesses. And we'll see the design later on in this project. It's just a wonderful design. We also, again, as I mentioned, have full ownership of the building, and so that really does reduce cost in terms of leasing and other service related fees. It's definitely easier to maintain, as I just mentioned. It will generate income for us, and we have already gone through the necessary approval processes, from the state level to local agencies. And the best thing about this is it's going to create about 200 jobs, and we have a wonderful construction team that is already recruiting local residents to help with the project. And we think that's just one of the amazing benefits of running a greenfield project. Now, these are our financials from 2019, and as I said, we are still in the lead, and we want to keep this numbers growing. We generated 2.1 billion in 2019, and we want to get back to this point, and we want to keep growing. So hopefully this is a project that's really going to boost us in the next few years. I mean, LA Fitness is not just running these two projects right now. They are doing a ton of things. And so we really in that mindset of recovering, and at the same time really doing projects that are beneficial for the residents and the general public. This is our current project chart. We've got a wonderful steering committee that is being led by Pierre Morgan. Some of you may know him. Our main partners are Landmark Developers, and Grace Byers is our main representative from accounting. They have been instrumental in just the whole planning process. Our sponsors, John and Larry, as well, are a big part of this project. They have walked with us from the very beginning, and they're just great to work with. I'm the project manager, Isabel. And really, by now, each of you have a good idea of the teams that you are currently going to be in. These are your leaders for the team. So Mike Brown is responsible for the technical team. Meyer is responsible for the logistics team. Grant is going to be our site advisor, expert advisor. He will be primarily based on the ground in Maine. And we're so excited that he'll just be there. He'll be making sure inspections are going right, and running the project management really out of the actual site. Andre will be responsible for the whole engineering team. He's overseeing the infrastructure team, the design team, the construction crew as well. And so he's the go-to person. Make sure you've got all their contacts saved, and you know how to get a hold of them. This is really a summarized version of the timeline. I have sent you all the WBS, which really breaks down all of these activities and has a more detailed timeline in terms of the completion dates per activity. I have to summarize this per month, per year way. So we are going to begin February 8th, which is today, the kickoff meeting. Now, excavation on the ground is going to start next week. So this project is beginning February 2022. It will run for a period of 2 years, and we are projected to finish in the year April 2024. And so we are really praying that we have a smooth flow and hopefully sign off the project April 2024. This is our deadline, and so this is really the date we're working towards. Now, the team, construction crew, and everybody else have been very instrumental. They really gave us a detailed description of how long each and every activity would take. And so, if any of you have further questions regarding the timeline, please reach out to me, and I will be happy to explain that further. All right, those are the roles and responsibilities of our key stakeholders. Or steering committee they've been instrumental, as I mentioned, in the planning process. They're like the main advisory board, and so we're so grateful to have them on board. They will keep us on our toes and make sure we are delivering the project outcomes. The sponsors are really the decision makers, so we will always consult with them should any concerns or decisions come up in the course of the project. I will make sure to monitor the progress closely and make sure that we're all meeting the milestone deadlines. I will also try to ensure that we're satisfying the stakeholders' expectations, and I'll evaluate the project performance as well. Our technical team will ensure that we're doing everything within the local context and that really we are adhering to all the community and agency regulations, because that's very important. The logistics will be responsible for the management on the ground, the inspections, and supervising all the needs and activities of LA Fitness Maine. Our site expert will make sure that we're having all our inspections done on time. He's our expert advisor from the main site, and he will be doing monitoring and evaluation as well, and running all the data analytics for us. And our engineers will be overseeing the construction team, the design team, the architects. These are our eyes and ears on the ground. They will really be responsible for delivering the final product. Now, this is what the ground currently looks like from satellite view. And we had one of our crew members take this picture for us. Right now it's just sitting empty. Next week we will have a temporary perimeter fence go around it, just for protection and to try and manage the noise and all the activity that's going to be going on there, because once excavation begins, all of this is going to be cleared out. And so this is what we're working with currently. And just look at the new design. We had such a great team of architects that really came up with this design, and it is beautiful. I cannot wait to see the final product. So moving forward, we are going to ensure that we've got all the approval done. I've just got one vendor waiting to sign off tomorrow, and then we should be good to go. Make sure that you all understand your key deliverables before beginning the project. Our construction team, once they do the excavation, will be building a demo. They will send this to us in our emails. They will also be having it on the site. So as we travel down there to perform our various tasks, we will be able to see the live demo, and I just can't wait to see what that's going to be. I will make sure that we've got all our vendors on board. Make sure that you are all familiar with the vendors that you're working with in your team, so that we really have a smooth flowing process. I will begin to monitor and evaluate you and keep updating you as the project goes on. Again, let us prioritize communication. Whatever needs to be communicated, let me know. Let your team leaders know, and let's just ensure that process is flowing, so that we avoid misunderstandings, we avoid miscommunication. Okay, so if anyone has any questions to ask, go ahead. And if you can't think of anything right now as well, like I mentioned at the beginning, drop me an email before we begin the project next week. I will be happy to respond to each and every one of you. And I will also, from this point, send you a detailed version. Please look through the documents that I've sent you. If there's anything missing as well, let me know, so that I really make sure that everybody has all the necessary documentation before we begin the project next week. And so I will see you all next week.